Hey, what's up guys, welcome to a brand new video. Today we are going to be talking about the Atsu Dish drama which happened yesterday. Now I want to preface this by saying I'm pretty neutral when it comes to this side of the drama, as I don't really follow either of these guys. We all know Atsu is a manipulative snake, but Dish on the other hand is allegedly this virtue signaler, Twitter mob panderer type of person, someone that likes spreading the sentiment tectone bad whenever she gets the chance. So I don't think either of these people are very honest, but let's briefly go over what Dish and Atsu went through. So Dish came out with a tweet saying she would rather not do this, but since the private messages were leaked, she's also going to leak hers, which apparently was a circle of trust. Their group is also called the Bozos, which is a great name, man. I'd love to be called a bozo of all things. So she grabbed all the screenshots before Atsu deleted the group and decided to respond to each accusation Atsu made about her in his own document. So the first being, she apologized to Brax in a way to save face for PR, which a lot of people have that impression on you, Dish. Maybe you shouldn't pander to the Twitter mob that much if you don't want people calling it that, but that's just my opinion. I know what was in my heart during these difficult decisions. I'm not perfect and I was not always honorable. I realize my wrongdoings and I do not regret apologizing for it. Showing some DMs about how she's sorry for Brax and how she will try her best not to undercut Atsu. And then showing Atsu's DM where he says, I considered making a video to debunk a lot of false information or misconstrued things coming from the wider community dogpile, but it's not gonna have much weight with the current status of public enemy #1. And he still made that video and found out the hard way how wrong he was about the entire thing. But here he's also saying, truthfully speaking, I feel like you heavily threw me under the bus to save face. Whether that was your intention or not, I cannot tell anymore, which makes me sad as I don't like this feeling of doubt and eggshells I'm walking on right now. I'm sure this will pass and it's just down to the overwhelming stress right now though. And it's rich of him to say this part as well. Much of that document Braxophone wrote was hearsay with no proof or citing third-party sources. Yeah man, you're the only guy providing proof around here. Surely your document wasn't filled with jack all, to be honest. And he's talking about one of the accusations he got because of Dish's response to Braxophone in his initial doc back in February, as he was accused of using Dish for growth. And Atsu's sad that she didn't defend him in this regard, saying, while it might not have been your intent, people are using your response amongst others and weaponizing it against me to validate the whole entire document without a second thought and a challenge for any proof. And then he called the apology to Braxophone fine and fair. Dish calls out the contradictions between his words, and then this excuses herself by saying she had one focus and that was apologizing to Brax at the time and that she couldn't get behind Atsu's response. And then saying, I would be staying quiet if I apologize privately and damage controlling if I apologize publicly. No winning really, which I will have to say in my opinion is really not the case. Brax could legit just come out and say you apologize to him privately, like I don't really see the big deal here. Now in my opinion, this really doesn't disprove accusation 1. This will however differ from person to person, but we have to realize it's really hard to disprove that you're not doing something for PR, especially if you're someone that actually likes to pander to Twitter. So I don't think anyone should really hold it against her, but obviously in Atsu's case he just felt thrown under the bus for PR. Now in Atsu's document he's saying that Dish contributed to the narrative that he manipulated people into staying away from Braxophone, and he believes her comments to be the most damning of them all. And apparently she denied that it was for PR and blamed Atsu simply to save face. Apparently she insisted on proofreading the 55-page document he made before, but he's accusing her of simply reading it to save her own public image. And this was the original apology that Dish had tweeted out. Now when we get to accusation 2, I was previously aware of Atsu's feelings towards Brax, the proof being that I used an emote to react to a message in the convo below. Okay, so it's this conversation and she reacted by saying kek L. Reacting to, I also can't believe you have to type this. Now her counter evidence is that she told Atsu directly that she does not remember. This frankly was just a miscommunication, my fault and his. Now in my opinion, in situations like these, saying you don't remember is sort of like a cop-out. I don't know man, because if you ever use Discord you can't misclick a reaction. You have to deliberately do it. So I really would not call this counter evidence at all. Hey, but that's just my opinion. Accusation 3, I only reviewed Atsu's 55-page document to see if there was anything damning about me again, PR. And then her counter evidence is he gave a group of us the draft doc to proofread and I annotated the entire document. Do note, however, that Atsu does claim that she insisted on doing it. Annotations which further corroborate that I held Atsu responsible for the corner he had backed Brax into. I told him once he was finished that I didn't mind what he said about me. I just wanted to ease his mind about sharing it publicly. So X-Slice by Dish were added to the group, so she corrected a few things. And here specifically she said, personally I think all of this should be removed. Sounds like you're trying to explain, but more like justifying your attitude towards Brax. Basically removing this entire section. And then saying looks good to me in the final document. But I'll be honest, Dish, saying this piece of shit document, this 55-page dog shit document filled with lies and manipulation looks good, you cannot sit there, look everyone in the eyes and tell them, okay, that looks good, it was a good fucking document. It disproves all the false accusations and owns up to everything that happened. Like, what the fuck? You can't even begin to understand how big of a red flag you doing that is. And you also legit showed 2 pages of corrections. So if this is all you did in that behemoth of a document, then I gotta say, it's just not a good look, man. It's really not a good look. And as much as I hate to say it, it sort of starts to prove Atsu's point here. This counter evidence is evidence supporting the fucking accusation. What the fuck? Self-reporting in your own post, just like Atsu, I see. And lastly, accusation 4, I'm two-faced, supporting Atsu's behavior in private while condemning them in public, counter evidence. Okay, so here she's saying, I was disappointed to read your quote retweet of Brax last night. It made me wonder what it would be like if I was on the other side of the gate, probably not that far from how Brax feels. That combined with your tendency to make and share judgments about others with us had made for a nasty plate of food at the end of the day, so it's clear she actually called him out on being a manipulative piece of shit. I know you say you are not trying to keep us from being friends with people you don't like, and I appreciate that, but your negative impression has usually led me in one direction or the other, and Atsu obviously doesn't realize this because he's an idiot. But talking shit behind people's back in a group doesn't give people a good impression about that person. And especially if you're friends with said person, they'll start trusting you and they'll start doubting him, saying, oh, I do not trust or like him, but if you want to be friends with him, it's fine, and talking all that shit. It's like, it's such a manipulative thing to do. Either way though, this is actual counter evidence to the accusation. Apparently they also talked for 5 hours to confront him about his behavior, and everyone told him to change, as you can see in the screenshots. And Atsu himself admits that he's a gatekeeper. I mean, bro, even in this document, he's still acting like he's not. He's being painted as one, but he is. He literally is, despite admitting it right fucking here. He also apparently didn't bring up her statement supporting the fact that Atsu and Brax have settled the things privately. She doesn't think he's intentionally lying about her. He's been deeply hurt in a horrible situation, and it's not surprising that he's in an emotional state. And yeah, and that's the cop-out everyone is giving him, because bro put the suicide, the cheating, all in the first page of the document. He is entitled to believe that I am, in his words, extremely calculated with PR. Ultimately, I know what's in my heart. I hold no anger for him, I just needed to clear this up before it spirals even further. My hope is that he finds peace and someday happiness. Well, would you guess what happened next? Atsu actually responded, saying, I don't want this to get any messier either, and I specifically didn't share some of the screenshots you shared here, considering these back up a lot of my claims of you throwing me under the bus to save face. In this very first image, you specifically said to me you didn't want to undercut me and you only speak about yourself, which you didn't do. You put me on full blast, you read that document fully and saw how many false claims were in there, yet swept them all under the rug publicly. Yikes, she actually just shot herself in the foot with that one. The one time Atsu is fucking right about something, man. Yeah, okaying the document really wasn't the move, especially if you're actually his friend. I approached you privately about what I felt was wrong, and ultimately your response ended with no winning really, with whether you went public or private. What do you mean by winning? This was a horrible situation. It's not about winning or losing. I mean, let's be real here, guys. Who are you winning against? Obviously the fucking general public. If you didn't give a fuck about the general public, about PR, about saving face, you would have just fucking apologized privately. So legit, I hate to say this, but this shouldn't have fucking responded at all. If she was gonna respond this way, like this doesn't disprove the accusation in any way. Now the Twitter mob doesn't see that because they just see, oh, screenshot, like the tweet, but like she actually doesn't realize how saying this fucked her over. Like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the accusations made against Dish in Atsu's document seems to actually be fucking merited. It's one of the few correct things in his 34-page document of slop. And this is coming from me, guys, the guy that made 5 different videos on Atsu. You speak about the group call we had, but that boiled down mostly to people having an issue with another Discord server I created so that I could play games with some different friends. I didn't add people's significant others, which I clearly explained to you guys was nothing personal, but that I was tired of cleaning up after people having internal relationship drama that kept bleeding into these gaming groups. It felt so bad to me when I said no to Joshua joining. I love you guys both and know you wouldn't cause problems like that, but I wanted to remain consistent in the name of fairness. Okay, so this seems to be another sort of nothing burger point where he didn't invite Dish's husband Joshua to the Minecraft server. And here he's saying, I've said no to others already for significant others and plan to keep it that way. Unfortunately, sorry. And she says that's okay here. And now she's saying if he wanted it to be CC's only, you get it. But categorizing him as a significant other when we have spent so much time together is insulting to me. Okay, so she's literally mad about him keeping it fair. Like, holy shit, man. Imagine getting called out for being unbiased. The one time bro is not biased, he gets shit for it. It's genuinely so ironic when taking everything into consideration. Holy shit. Atsu is legit cooking her right now. Here he goes over a certain relationship drama they had, which there's no info about, so there's no point in going into it. I appreciate y'all for calling with me that night, and I made it clear I'm done with subtweeting other people. It's a bad habit I had, and I'm quashing it. Good. Many tears were shed that night, and I genuinely thought we had all got closer. That wasn't the case though, as people started pointing out to me how badly thrown under the bus I was, and I realized how badly some of you were scapegoating me and overly reliant on me as this glue you so often refer to me as. Glue is a weird nickname to give someone, I'll be honest. Like, you couldn't think of anything else, come on bro. Snake or Puppeteer would be a way better nickname, let's be honest. In the statement you claimed was to support me, you state that you, Joshua, and Brax had actually been on good terms since you guys met at Anime Expo anyways. This doesn't align with the public narrative that you created. I have never manipulated you into avoiding Braxophone and was always aware you guys were on good terms. And now he's back to being good old Ratsu again. You were going on a streak, man. You were almost going to make a perfect fucking post, and then you squashed it with this paragraph. Because once again, talking shit behind his back and saying it's totally fine if you still want to be friends is still manipulating them into not being friends with them. But it's clear that Atsu still doesn't understand that. I then doubled down on the entire group anyway, which you claim you forgot about, that it did not matter to me who you are friends with, so for you to then go out of your way to write what you did about me comes across as nothing but a PR move. Yep, unfortunately that's not going to be disproven this time. This post, while it does apologize to Braxophone, is also scapegoating Atsu hard. Lastly, why did you wait to clear my name on so many of the allegations? Why did you wait so long knowing the grief I was going through? Why did it have to be an optimal time for you to do that when the dust had supposedly settled between myself and Braxophone? I can only see this as being for PR. Yeah, so he's talking about her posting this way later on the 13th of February when the drama is basically over after Atsu had posted his Google document, saying she's responsible for her own contracts, Joshua, herself and Brax are all on good terms, saying there are tough conversations occurring behind closed doors, Atsu is her dear friend and she plans to keep that way. Yikes, it's really not looking good for this year, guys. I'm so sad it's come to this and I regret ever confiding in you about my discomfort. And then lastly, Dish responds with, it is clear that we are never going to reach an understanding of all that happened, or the motives behind each decision. I'm no longer going to try to reason with you. You are beyond reasoning with. It's so heartbreaking that it has come to this, but I'm moving on. And well, everyone is like, yes queen, slay your queen or some shit like that. I don't know what the fuck the Twitter mob thinks of her. But obviously, as she's more prevalent on Twitter, she got more likes than good old Atsu here. Because let's be honest, they just read the post of their favorite influencer and are just like, fuck the rest, and don't really feel bothered to go any further and research what the hell happened here, because this is not a Dish W by any means. this is a self-report, giving Atsu a rare W, a very, very rare Atsu W. And in all honesty, I'm telling you, she would have been way better off had she not made this response, because the one thing she disproved was the fact that she was two-faced, acting the same way on Twitter and in the DMs, virtue signaling whenever she can, obviously. But unfortunately, all she did by doubling down was prove Atsu's point. Now obviously a lot of people are going to gloss over this fact, especially since Atsu is wrong about 80% of the things he said in this document, so the few things that are actually correct go unnoticed. So yeah, that was quite an interesting turn of events. I did not expect Atsu to finally be right about something, and so I have proven to be neutral and objective when looking at the fucking facts. Now obviously in the grand scheme of things this doesn't matter as much, but it's still worth talking about in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think as well. And if you like and subscribe, Elon Musk might actually appear at your front door. I don't know what you'll do with him, but yeah. Only quality content here, folks. Subscribe please.